So a DJ the other day asked me what I thought about which DJ booth they should buy. Hi, I'm Bill. This is a Creative License. Thanks again for checking in on my little dog and pony show. And thank you to those of you who do nice things for my sponsors. Electro Voice, DJ Event Planner, Promo Only, Disc Jockey News, and of course, my workshop, The Entertainment Experience. If you want to know more about that, reach out to me, just like you would reach out to any of my other sponsors. So DJ booths, it's an interesting question. I've had more than a few DJs ask me about it, and I thought maybe I should talk about it today, because yet again, somebody brought it up to me, and the answer I give is almost always the same. Why are you thinking about doing that? I'm not saying it because you shouldn't. Okay? The companies that I know out there making them, and I'm sure there's more, but there's Joe Bunn in the Bunn booth, right? There's Danny Max in the Max booths. There's DJ Toad and Toadmatic. All three different in their own right and very interesting. And I will tell you that I've considered myself getting one of these booths for doing my my mobile DJ stuff, but I haven't yet. And the reason is because I sat back and I thought about, what do I need it for? What am I trying to achieve? Why do I need it? Why do you think it would be important for me to have? Why do I think it would be important for me to have? And so when somebody asks me the question, which one should I get? The first question I ask is, why do you want to get one? Now, I'm not saying it because you shouldn't. I'm saying it because you should really explore the reason why you're thinking about doing a change to the aesthetic of what you present as a DJ. What are you trying to do? And who are you trying to impress, if you're trying to impress? The aesthetic is cool. I mean, normally, a DJ booth for a wedding or private party is your rig on top of a table that's been skirted, something to hold your laptop. It looks the same. So when it first started to happen, I went, well, they're trying to stand out. It looks different. It's interesting, and it is. And some of them are very cool. In fact, I think all three of the ones I mentioned are very cool. But then it became a thing where I don't think I've seen pictures lately of DJs that don't have these booths. And oftentimes these booths look the same. And when I hear clients talk about them, they say, oh, well, you got one of those. As opposed to, wow, that's really interesting and different. Which is what happened when people started first doing it. So are you doing it because all the other DJs are doing it? Well, usually, if that's the case, my advice is, why are you trying to be like other DJs? Why aren't you trying to find a way to be more like you and find a unique way to express who you are and to, as I always say in all of my little videos and what I always preach during the Entertainment Experience workshops is show up different. Don't show up the same in a different way, because it usually isn't different. Show up different. And if it looks like everybody's doing one thing, take a turn and go another way. Unless, of course, you're trying to look like what you see as professional, and all these other DJs look professional to you, so you're trying to look professional. I don't really have a problem with any of that. I don't. Sorry about my thumb. You like that? Isn't that interesting? What I'm saying is really have a reason for doing it. And if the reason is I want to look like the other DJs, good for you. If the reason is that I'm trying to show up in a different way, then when you get something that everybody's buying, find a way to at least show it off in a different way. Even the guys who make these booths will tell you the same thing. Then I've got the guys who are like, well, I'm thinking about the Toadmatic booth. The reason is because you've got a big 50 to 60 inch television in front of it. I want to get one of those. Again, the question, why do you want one of those? A lot of the guys I ask that question can't give me a reason. Well, maybe because I can put the logo of the client in front of it. Right, exactly. If you do mostly weddings, though, they don't necessarily have a logo, unless, of course, they have a, they got one of those beautiful signature things that they're calling their logo on all of their stationery and things like that, which is fine, right? So that's one way to go. But what I have been finding is a lot of the guys, they get these things and it's kind of cool. And then they put their own logo on it, which is kind of counterintuitive, right? Especially since DJs for the last 15 to 20 years have been saying, hey, you really shouldn't be putting your sign in front. We've been getting rid of DJ signs, Big Bill's Entertainment Company. But now with the return of the screen, I'm seeing a lot of that. Again, is that what you're going for? Is that what you're hoping to do at a private event, a public event? There's two different reasons to do it, right? Why do you want to have that? Instead of, are you trying to keep up with the DJ Joneses? Again, you're trying to keep up with the DJ Joneses? Lots of ways to do that and lots of ways to spend your money to do that. I don't have a problem with that. But I think if you gave it some thought and you found yourself doing it because everybody else is doing it, you might rethink whether or not you're going to do a booth. Me, I do a black facade in front of my table, the table that I bring. And you know why? Okay, I'll tell you. The reason I do that is because I'm an actor and I like backstage. And I got no backstage using those other booths that are part of the main act. They look interesting and cool, but you can't make them messy. And backstage, I get to make messy. I get to show up the way I like to show up. I like to, what I call, hide my sins backstage. And with a black, simple facade, I am more in the background. I'm less seen. I'm not part of the aesthetic. I'm outside of the aesthetic, and I keep everything backstage. Am I right and you wrong? Nope. I have come up with a reason why I do what I do. Have you come up with a reason for the reasons you do what you do? Again, let me make it really clear. Those booths, the Bun booth, the Danny Max booth, the Toadmatic booths, they're cool. And I've thought about getting them, and there might be a day that I get them too. But I'm going to have a really good reason, and it's going to be outside of the idea that everybody else does it. What do you think? Leave your comments below. Tell me I'm a terrible person because I don't do what you do. I hope you don't do that. It's just, we're different, right? I'll see you next week on Creative Licensing.